Okay, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. It is you change the world because you change the world, and you really are. Not only because, or you're a leader, you have people that you're managing, or you're making decisions every day that impact other people, or you don't even know that you are impacting other people. That's the wonderful things about coaching is that when we discuss something and you bring up an issue on in a coaching session, individual or a team session, it will be for the coach to listen carefully to what you're saying between the lines, as we say, or really in your mind. There is things that you are saying that you're not hearing. And that's what the coach does. The first thing is for the coach to repeat to you what he or she hears, and that will give you maybe an insight about what you mean. And then connect to yourself, then knowing what it is that you are really saying and that impacts other people. And for those people that are impacted by you, they impact other people. And that's why the world can change just from that. A human being really is a world by itself. It's really an entire universe. And when we meet each other, or you see just a group of people or a community, it's amazing what we are really, in fact, facing. We're facing multiple worlds, multiple planets. It's unbelievable how what we can touch. It's infinite, and it is the beauty, the wonder of what creation is and what a human being can be. That's why really I'm totally convinced. I'm just hoping that you are getting that also a little bit through these weekly gatherings with you on the internet, that it is really what it does. It impacts the world, it changes the world. Now, sometimes it's even more serious than that. I mean, it's already serious what I'm saying, but to a deeper level, you're going to transform someone. You're going to change someone just by inspiring that person, or because you said something that person is going to relate to very personally, a fact of the past or something that happened in the same day, and then that person connects the dots thanks to you. From that and that alone, that transformation can have incredible ramifications, positive ramifications, usually. You can turn around the temper of someone, the vision of someone that was negative on something. That's what the whole reason of the title is: You Change the World. And that's what I didn't want to, in fact, use this pompously and say, oh, well, you know what, we're going to change the world here in these few minutes together. Who am I that I'm going to change anything? But we are all capable of this. And it's even another and last notion I want to share with you. It doesn't come from me. This is things that you can see in the oldest text of the Bible, or anything that is really holy, other than things that have been transformed from the original books. I'm talking about the original genuine books. And I'm saying to you that from there we see that a person can change entirely the world, to the extent that thanks to that person's gesture, intention, that person saves someone's life physically, obviously, right in front of you, your eyes. That person pulled out someone from being crashed by a car, could extinguish a fire, could pull back, take a tube to someone's mouth in a hospital room because it was disconnected and no one was seeing it. Back to oxygen, back to breathing. So many things. A surgeon who intentionally wants to save someone's life but has this ability and agility to do so. All these people every day, every second of the day. Someone who drives an ambulance or drives someone in an emergency to the hospital, to the emergency room. I don't want to even say that because I'm not sure your emergency rooms are the place to go to save someone's life. But sometimes you do exactly the opposite by doing that. So it's really amazing. It's out of our control. That's what I mean. It's out of control most of the time. Many things that we do can save people's lives. An example: I was, in fact, discussing something with someone. That person I didn't know, was intending to commit suicide. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not even there. I was not coaching that person. It was just a conversation. And that person, I didn't know him very well at the time. But this person wanted to commit suicide. That's what I heard. And I don't know why, when he mentioned not that, but he was pretty desperate and it was pretty sad. No, maybe he mentioned something about ending his life. And I just said something about committing a crime. I said, listen, obviously, someone who kills himself is committing a crime. It's an homicide. It's definitely a crime. So we don't see that aspect. Very rarely when we hear the news or we heard that someone did that, we feel sorry for the person, yes, but there is really a fact that this person killed a human being, himself or herself. And when I said that, I don't know, it really got him to think about it twice. It was, I didn't know I had this effect on him. But he told me that for years and years after that, that he saved his life. It was not my intention. I didn't know what I was saying that was so inspiring him. So now we can say at this very moment, without intending, whatever I was saying, inspired to say, it saved his life. He decided that it was not making any sense, and then he didn't want to have the guilt. Maybe if he believed in God or believed in the other world, in the next world, he didn't want to be eternally punished or blamed for killing a human being, committing a crime. Isn't that incredible? I was, in fact, having another plan to talk to you about today, but I wanted to just go back to this title, You Change the World. All of a sudden, everything is going another way. That's very much me. I have to say that it happens to me pretty often. I shouldn't say it, but I'm vulnerable to tell you that it happens to me pretty often. And that's, it doesn't matter. It's in the moment, and that's my the flow of my words. But the core intention I have and the focus I have in my mind sharing with you is that aspect of impacting the world without knowing. That millions and millions of people walking in the street, when you go in Manhattan or you go to Paris and you see people in the street, you have no idea, have no idea that you or this person or that person just saved one person's life just by saying something, just by approaching someone with a smile, by being kind, by giving something to that person, by being a giver, right? That person receiving your gift, whatever that gift is, could be just a smile, just a good intention. Just that alone makes that person's day. You made my day, as they say. Yeah, simple. That's why you change the world. Now, when we are aware of it, when we become conscious about it, and it's part of our lives, it's very transformational. I promise you. Very professional, very, very, very transformational. And I think that our profession as coaches is to try to, without searching for transformation, is to learn how to, in fact, listen and to learn how to sometimes put ourselves in our clients' shoes and see why they're feeling that way. And you're going to say it's very close to therapy. And I'm going to say, yeah, it sometimes is very close to therapy. But we did not learn. I'm not a therapist. I did not having any certification or any ability to diagnose anyone and to speak about the past. I'm speaking about this moment now. But this moment now is us, one individual carrying all the number of baggage on his shoulders or her shoulders that has to do with the past. So my question will be to this client, do you see someone? Have you been talking to a specialist of the past, someone who can really bring you back to these feelings, to these traumas, to these um, experiences that you went through emotionally and impacted you for life? And you do not realize that. People say, many of often, I heard it in fact last week from a client, that in order to become a certified coach in one school in France, this person had to learn to go through a psycho therapy. And he said, but I'm not crazy. Why should I have, why should I? That's what I thought. He said, I thought about this. I'm not crazy. I don't need to go to a therapist. Why? Why? You have to be crazy to go to a therapist? I'm not saying to a psychiatrist in an institution because you're seeing two people in front of you, or you think you're Napoleon. That's a different story. But here you just have issues. You realize that you're sad all the time. You realize that some situations trigger something by you that annoys you, that you keep doing and carrying on and on and on. And then when I realized that as your coach, well, I'd ask you this question: do you get therapy? That's not for me to do. That's something you have to do with a specialist. And then we can continue to talk about your issues, whatever, or your challenges. So I think I made my point clear, hopefully, today. Took me a few minutes, but I wanted to explain what you change the world meant and why I came up with that title for a weekly podcast and live event on the internet. I do not have much um, audience out there. It translates into views on YouTube. That's miserable over there. I don't have even, it remains in a single digit for sure, because I have no time, nor do I have any resource to promote that show. And I'm looking for help. I tried to get some help. That's the other side of the being a one-man show or a small business, is that sometimes we don't have the commitment we need from freelancers or other people. They are not committed to the extent we need, not being demanding, just getting things done. It's very difficult. It's already difficult when you pay people on the payroll to get things done, but it's even more difficult when those are freelancers. They take too much work, or they don't even control their time, which was, by the way, the topic I wanted to bring up today, was about managing time. We'll do this another time, but today was about you change the world. You are changing the world. You know it, you don't, but you do change the world. And that's why every aspect we're discussing here, every guest I try to, I happy to receive here, and we share the same space and exchange. It's an interview, or it's just a debate, or it's just a conversation in front of you. Those are just meant for one and one reason, especially, is to understand how much you change the world, how much I change the world. We all change the world constantly, every single day, every single individual on this planet, by the billions, and that's what happens. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining today, and see you next week. Bye.